So, buddy, you filed for bankruptcy, I see, on the news. What's going to happen now? What's next for Chuck E. Cheese? FNAF? Okay, guys, hold on. I got a lot of requests to make a video about Chuck E. Cheese and, you know, how they filed for bankruptcy and what the issue is and what's the future of Chuck E. Cheese. Will there ever be, a FNAF collab with Chuck E. Cheese? And the answer is, in my personal opinion, no, maybe. It's not a yes. And it's not a confident yes. It's a no. It's between no and maybe in there, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Scott has spoke about it before, guys, on some forums, which I've got for you guys. And he's basically not really interested in doing restaurants for the franchise. Now, you've got to remember that these posts, these comments are very old, okay? 4 or 5 years old, okay? Where he's not interested in making FNAF restaurants. And the main reason why he didn't want to do it is because there's a lot of work involved, okay? I've actually been asked this a lot, but the answer is simple. I do not want to be in the food service industry. There is a lot more involved with restaurant management than just putting together a few killer robots, okay? And you've got to remember this was years ago when Scott was solo, okay? You know, he's got a bunch of more companies working for him now. Steel Wall, Blumhouse, you know what I'm trying to say here. So I feel like if he's got a whole team, you know, he's basically expanded the franchise, video game wise, not, you know, restaurant wise or, you know, film wise he has, video game wise he has, but, you know, restaurant wise, nothing, okay? But if he had a team of people who knew about that, like Chuck E. Cheese, I feel like he might change his mind. You know, I feel like he might think about it a little bit. Honestly, if Chuck E. Cheese emailed Scott and said, hey, we're interested in doing a collab for Halloween or something, or, you know, we want to change a few of our restaurants to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza where we feel like they'd be most popular, I feel like Scott might consider it. I would, anyway. I definitely would, just to see how they got on. You know, just one restaurant, when the most popular Chuck E. Cheese restaurant in America, and they decide to change it to a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. They sign a contract where Chuck E. Cheese now has a license of FNAF. They're going to make, you know, some FNAF animatronics and change the theme of the restaurant. Yeah, I can see that happening. But there are a few, like, I don't know about that, reasons why I don't think Scott would want to do it. First reason is Chuck E. Cheese is family friendly. Okay, Chuck E. Cheese is a family friendly restaurant, and having FNAF with killer animatronics in and making it spooky is not family friendly. It's as simple as that. Parents might not be happy with it. I don't know. The only thing to combat that is to say, to give a rating of the location, say it's a horror attraction, say it's for mature audiences, for, you know, PG, parental guidance is advised, you know. And then the second reason is that Scott, you know, something might happen at the pizzeria where somebody like Vanessa in real life will go to the pizzeria and try and kill children or kill people to, you know, do what the game does. Although that's a very highly unlikely situation, it could happen. So you've got to think about that as well, guys. I'm not even kidding. It's not just Scott's decision as well, guys. It's Chuck E. Cheese. And remember the family-friendly thing, what I was just talking about. Do Chuck E. Cheese want to do that? And in the middle of bankruptcy, guys, I'll be real with you. Chuck E. Cheese has been struggling for years now. I've done some research. Although they filed for bankruptcy recently because of the virus, all the stores are shut, guys. Chuck E. Cheese is a huge company, and you got to think if they were already struggling, to pay the bills of debt, and then all their stores close, hundreds of them around America, for months. They're not making any money. You know, that's when they're going to really struggle, and they file for bankruptcy. Now, filing for bankruptcy does not mean that the company's done, okay? It doesn't mean that. They will most likely close down a lot of stores and try and recover from it, okay? But like I said, they've been in debt for a while. Back in 2014, they were like they had $1 billion in debt, which is a lot of money. And if they're only making like 50 million a year, which is still a lot, it's not, you know, $1 billion in debt is a lot, and it's probably more than that. So yeah, you got to think as well. They got to pay all the workers. They got to pay all the bills of the electricity and keeping the animatronics afloat, repairing them, maintaining all the locations. It's a lot of money, and they've been struggling for a while now. And yeah, that's why they filed for bankruptcy. So I don't think Chuck E. Cheese is done for now. They're going to close stores and see if they can recover from it. That's it. So, if they're trying to find ways to make money at the moment, guys, you know, closing a few stores, okay, we need to reevaluate what we need to do. You know, it could happen. I'm not even kidding now. You know, they probably know now how big FNAF is. I can imagine them trying to figure out a collab of some sort just to see what happens, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of for them to do. I've got another few ideas for Chuck E. Cheese on what they could do to, you know, try and attract more people to go to the locations. Because they are trying to keep up with the trends. I mean, I think Chuck E. Cheese is a great idea. Arcade area, and, you know, you get food and stuff there, you know. But, you know, I do have a few ideas on what they could do. And I'm not even kidding. Again, it's to do with mature audiences. Instead of having kid locations, they could make some more adult locations, whereas it's actually a bar, and it's more of like a trendy teenage, you know, adult location where you go in, you have drinks with friends, alcoholic drinks, and you know, play games on the arcades. I feel like that could work because I think it's here in the UK, we don't have a lot of that. And the best places to go and drink, guys, here are arcade bars. I went to one back in February before the virus happened, and I absolutely loved it. You know, you're in a really cool vibe location. You're out, there's a bar, drinking with friends, having fun on arcade games. It's perfect, right? It's perfect for kids as well at Chuck E. Cheese. I'm not saying, you know, that, but, you know, I feel like they could change a few locations to be more adult oriented instead of, you know, just kids. Have them as party places, you know, hang out and have a drink with friends. If you didn't know as well, guys, they are actually planning to remove all of the animatronics in the locations, which is a real shame. A real shame. Back in 2019, I think they announced it that they're going to get rid of all the animatronics in the future, because they cost too much to run. Apparently, I don't know how. I mean, I feel like they cost too much to repair than to run. You know, they've got like hundreds of arcade machines at the location. I feel like they're going to generate more electricity than, you know, 4 animatronics, right? The Chuck E. Cheese mascot is going to stay. But yeah, it's unfortunate. And to me, again, that seems like Chuck E. Cheese are not interested in animatronics anymore. So if they think, oh, maybe if we did a FNAF collab, do we want to make animatronics? You see that Chuck E. Cheese are not really interested in it anymore. They feel like it's, you know, dead. The kids aren't excited about seeing animatronics anymore, which I can agree. It's kind of true. When I went to Chuck E. Cheese back in December and I was in the party room, I was amazed by the animatronics. You know, it's the first time I've seen them, but I don't think I saw a single kid look at the animatronics. They were more of like a background. They were in the background. They weren't interested in the animatronics. The mascot came out and they were interested then, but they didn't seem to care. And I'm not even kidding. That, you know, it's quite sad. They didn't seem to care. I think it's to do with all the technology now. And they've seen them, they're like, oh, cool. And then they go and play, you know, they go and play an arcade game at the arcade. So, it's a tough one. But again, that's Chuck E. Cheese. Those are the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. If they do a collab with Scott to make one FNAF location with FNAF animatronics and make it more mature for mature audiences, people will go to the FNAF location to see the FNAF animatronics. It's as simple as that, right? I know you guys would too. If a FNAF location opened up around you, you'd want to go and see the animatronics rather than play the arcade games, right? You'd want to experience seeing the FNAF animatronics in person. And I feel like it's a good idea. Obviously, an idea is just an idea. I'm not confirming that Chuck E. Cheese are going to be interested in doing something like this, or Scott. But I feel like it could work. Just one location. Literally just one. And just see how it goes. Make it an event around Halloween. Just have it as a themed location, just for a few months or something. See how it goes. If it doesn't do well, that's it. That's fine. Scrap it. If it does well, it could expand, and they could start doing more like Halloween events and stuff around the Chuck E. Cheese locations. Something like that. I know Chuck E. Cheese did a cartoon a while back, and you know, Chuck E. Cheese know about FNAF. They know about it. 100%. Chuck E. Cheese Entertainment, the big boys, big women, the big company people in Chuck E. Cheese, they know about the franchise. And I'm very surprised that they haven't thought, hey, why don't we try this out? We may as well, just to see what happens. And at our most popular location, let's theme it as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza for a little bit. Let's just have fun. And nothing's happened yet. It would be interesting to see if Scott has actually ever been contacted by Chuck E. Cheese for anything, or any other companies. Interestingly, I've got another comment from Scott. I actually get a lot of emails from people wanting to create real restaurants. Listen, here is my advice. Finish high school, go to college. If you really have an interest in food service, then get a degree in food service management. After that, and after you've established at least a few restaurants of your own, then maybe you can pitch your idea to me again. Until then, just focus on school. This was a post by a kid. He was like, when I'm older, I want to make some restaurants and make them FNAF themed. Somewhat, a little bit interested in doing it. Again, this was years ago. He's probably changed his mind now. Maybe he doesn't want to do anything at all. But you can see that Scott is somewhat open to something. Back in 2016, there was a horror attraction in Las Vegas, and it was FNAF themed. You know, just one-off things around Halloween. I think Scott would be open to it, especially when the movie is on the way. Okay, and I'm going to talk about the movie opportunities now, and how it can open up to be huge. And I'm going to talk about Universal Studios again as well. This is a dream scenario of the movie being successful, and Chuck E. Cheese seeing that and wants to, you know, prioritise their franchise with FNAF. So if the movie is super successful, really, really successful, and I'm hoping it is, because you've got to remember as well, I mentioned it in the last video, people outside of computer games and stuff don't know about the franchise. They probably know it about with their kids. They probably know about it with the plushies and stuff. They buy them a Freddy plushie at Target, but they don't know much about it. Movies are a global thing. Everybody can watch a movie. Not everybody can play FNAF. They don't have a computer. They don't have a console. Everybody can go to their local cinemas and watch a movie. Okay, they are huge. You'll see FNAF advertisements on TV. Really, I'm not even kidding. You'll see the FNAF movie being promoted on television globally. And people are going to go and watch the movie and they've never heard about FNAF before. And if it's a good movie and they enjoyed it, FNAF as a whole is going to get really popular again. It will be back where it will be like 2014 all over again when FNAF just started and Markiplier made his video on it and the internet went crazy. It will be like that if it's a good movie. Even if it's mediocre, I feel like people will still know about it and think about it. But yeah, FNAF has a really good opportunity now to go completely, and so many opportunities are going to come to Scott if the movie is very successful. And again, the first one, guys, is Universal Studios. Like I said before, Blumhouse has a license with Universal for another 8 years, something like that. It was 10 years, but I think it was a couple of years ago or something like that. So the FNAF movie will be out while this Universal license is with Blumhouse, and it could happen where Universal Studios does a FNAF restaurant. A FNAF themed attraction at Universal Studios. You know, I've already spoke about the Sally ride. The concepts are there of a really cool ride, where you go around with the flashlight and you know you shoot things on the, you know, shoot targets. You know, like a laser quest shooting attraction, where you go and shoot the things around the attraction. You get points on a screen. Or just a horror attraction as in a nutshell. You know, you don't even have to have that concept. Just having animatronics jump scare you on a dark ride, that's fine too. Just anything. And if Universal do acquire that, a FNAF attraction, they will probably most likely have a restaurant with it as well. Most places like Disneyland and stuff have a ride, and they also have a restaurant and a gift shop, all connected together. And I feel like that could work with FNAF. Have a FNAF themed restaurant, have the FNAF themed ride there as well. The opportunity is perfect. It's perfect. It would really work, guys. I'm not even kidding. It doesn't even have to be at Universal. Scott could do something at another horror location like he did in Las Vegas. It doesn't have to be at Universal Studios. Universal Studios is like the big dream, the big goal. You know, Universal Studios are currently doing a collab with Nintendo. They're in a Nintendo-themed world at all the Universal Studio locations. That's huge. But like, this is just a smaller scale. Just have a horror-themed ride or a horror-themed location to promote the FNAF movie. And if the FNAF movie blows up, it's right there. The opportunity's right there. And again, talking about Chuck E. Cheese, Chuck E. Cheese can do that as well. You know, if they see FNAF being a huge thing, they can easily contact Scott saying, hey, we've seen the movie's done really well. Everybody's interested in animatronics again. We get people coming in Chuck E. Cheese all the time asking about the animatronics and asking about FNAF and asking about, you know, how creepy the animatronics are. Why don't we just work on something and make a horror-based Chuck E. Cheese attraction? You know, it can easily happen. And I really hope in the future it does. I really, really do. Chuck E. Cheese is struggling at the moment. FNAF's doing really well at the moment. A movie's being made. The next game's coming out later this year. Loads of opportunities are coming to FNAF. And Chuck E. Cheese is struggling at the moment. And if I worked for Chuck E. Cheese, guys, if I was the Chuck E. Cheese owner, I would just YOLO it. I would just take it. Take the opportunity to just contact Scott about doing just one small thing, just one location, the most popular Chuck E. Cheese location in America, and just do it around Halloween, and just see how it goes. You've got nothing to lose. You've literally got nothing to lose, to try and just go for it and just see what happens. And again, another advice for Chuck E. Cheese as well is to maybe make some more, you know, adult locations where it's like a drink, like an arcade bar place, you know, just to see what happens. Make it more mature, you know, where teenagers and stuff go for parties, you know, adults. And just see what happens. Make it like Tron. If any of you guys have seen the Tron movie with the arcade bar, just arcade bars, to me personally, I think are really successful in the UK at the moment. I don't know what they're like in America, like arcade bars. I'm pretty sure you do have them where, you know, I think it's 21 the age to drink there. You go in a bar, you have a few drinks with friends and you go and have fun on the arcades. In the arcade area. I feel like just having a few locations around America with Chuck E. Cheese, I feel like it could work. The animatronic situation, I don't feel like they'd have animatronics at those bars, but they could make it, you know, they could make it a horror attraction though as well. You know, they could definitely do something with the franchise, and it doesn't have to be FNAF as well. Chuck E. Cheese could just make a horror attraction based on the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. They don't have to do a collab with Scott, but I feel like it would be better to do it because, you know, FNAF's really popular and people will want to go to check it out. They could have their own dark ride at Chuck E. Cheese. Not really a ride, more of like an experience, like a maze around Halloween. And just anything like that would be crazy. And I really do wish it happens in the future. Again, I think it's unlikely. But I feel like there is a small chance of it happening. And again, if I was the owner of Chuck E. Cheese Entertainment, I'd just go for it. And contact Scott and see what happens. You know, the Chuck E. Cheese have got nothing to lose. It's something they could try. I know it's a little bit different than a family-friendly location, but if their business is struggling, I feel like it's just something worth to try. This is my opinion. And again, it doesn't have to be with Chuck E. Cheese. It could be Universal Studios as well with the movie and stuff. I feel like FNAF has got a bright future. You know, if the movie's successful, this could be a very interesting time where we could see FNAF restaurants being around. You know, it could just be one restaurant. It doesn't have to be a big franchise, just one horror attraction experience or something. And just see how it goes. I also forgot to mention, guys, that Scott has spoken with Aaron Fetchat, and Aaron Fetchat is the creator of Showbiz Pizza. He's got a bunch of videos on YouTube with the animatronics that he's created, and Scott has spoke to Aaron plenty of times. You know, he even did the secret images before of the animatronic pictures, if you remember that, back in Help Wanted. Basically to associate like real animatronic pictures in the game, which was really cool. But then people found out that they were from Showbiz Pizza pictures, and Scott removed them because he didn't want any negative attention to do with Aaron. But yeah, you can see that they've spoke to each other before, had a connection, animatronics and stuff. So you can see something that could possibly happen between those two, a collab where Aaron makes FNAF animatronics and stuff and sets them up at a pizzeria or a horror attraction. So that could work as well. So yeah, think about that as well, that Scott knows people. Showbiz Pizza, if you didn't know, guys, was the rival of Chuck E. Cheese. And Showbiz Pizza, fun fact, actually beat Chuck E. Cheese in the past. Chuck E. Cheese went bankrupt before, guys, because they were both competing with each other, and Chuck E. Cheese company was buying all these locations, you know, to try and make lots of money, and the locations didn't do well, so they went bankrupt, and Showbiz Pizza purchased Chuck E. Cheese. So interesting, right? And then Showbiz Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese had like this collab two companies working together. Not really two companies, the same company using both franchises in locations. And then eventually, Showbiz Pizza actually decided to just focus on Chuck E. Cheese. And they turned into Chuck E. Cheese Entertainment. So Showbiz Pizza was gone. But it's really cool how Aaron Fetchat is still there, still alive, working with animatronics and stuff. So you never know, guys. Something could happen. My final thoughts are that it could happen, but I don't think it will. Scott hasn't said anything about restaurants for years, so if you guys want to ask him, or if he wants to say anything, he probably won't watch this video, but maybe ask him again and see what he thinks about it. If it's a definite no, or maybe when the movie comes out, something might happen, so we get an idea on what Scott thinks, because this could be cool. From what he said in the past, it seems like he's not interested, but now that he's expanded a bit more with other companies, it could happen. If a solid team contacted him, like Universal, I feel like he'd say yes. A trustworthy team of people. Universal Studios is huge. Universal Studios asked Scott, I'm pretty sure he'd say 100% yes, let's do it. Chuck E. Cheese, I feel like it'd be like maybe a flat out company who doesn't have a lot of recognition. I feel like he wouldn't be interested in. But Universal or Chuck E. Cheese, he'd probably say yeah. Why not? Let's just try it and see what happens. Again, guys, this was more of a ramble video where I just say my thoughts and what you guys think as well. Let me know what you guys think, please, in the comment section. Do you think FNAF is ever going to have its own restaurant? Ever? My opinion is that yes. I feel like there's an 80% chance, if the movie's successful, that something will happen. Like a cool restaurant or something. And with Chuck E. Cheese, I don't feel like Chuck E. Cheese is going to disappear. I feel like they're going to close some stores and try and keep things afloat. But the opportunity is there for them if they ever want to, change the, because usually with bankruptcy and stuff, if the business is doing bad, the big leaders of the team will be like, okay, we need to try and do something different here. We're not making a lot of money. We need to figure something out. And, some ideas I've said are there, which they could maybe do, but it's very unlikely that Chuck E. Cheese will ever do something. But the opportunity's there. That's all I'm saying. The opportunity is there for them to take if Scott wants to as well. It's there. It may not work. It may work. I just feel like it might work. Horror attraction in around Halloween. Just see how it goes. What's the harm in that? Just one location. That's it. Just see how it goes, But yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. Sorry I rambled a little bit. Let me know what you think as well. Yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Lots of love, and I'll see you all next time.